Okay, each afternoon at around 3:30, you'd be receiving an email which contains the signals going into the close of the ASX for that day. This is the signal report from yesterday. This would have turned up in your inbox. Click on the first stock code, which is CIMIC Group. Takes you straight into the members area, and you can start moving through the charts quite quickly. So let's just have a quick look at how we do that. So I tend to turn the yellow markers off. So again, that's his signal here, yellow markers, which are linked to posts, and I start toggling through those. So CIMIC Group, we can see here the algo signal's been successful in the past, and it's flagging this sell-off. I think maybe this is one you want to keep an eye on for the short-term momentum indicators to start turning positive there. All you need to do now is just click on that right arrow and begin moving through the rest of the stock. So Dexus is a real estate investment trust, and I spoke earlier in the week about as bond yields are moving higher, we're seeing these yield sensitive names with REITs and infrastructure moving lower, and I think that's probably one of the key opportunities in the market coming up is the buy side within these interest rate sensitive names. So Dexus we like. Growth Point, look, I'm not so much drawn to that as a name, but you can see there that has the higher low structure and the algo signals flagging that. GPT Group we like. I think this finds support, and again, just keep an eye on these short-term momentum indicators to start to turn positive. Mirvac Group, corrected a lot. We're starting to see the higher low formation. Watch for the short-term indicators there. Orica Group. Now, interesting was yesterday you would have received the following email, and I'll just explain what this is. Orica was in our ASX Top 50 model portfolio. We've held it for 323 days, and the stock's now rolled over into a lower high formation, and we've had a sell signal. So the percentage return from when we had the previous buy signal to yesterday's sell signal was 8%. On top of that, we've collected roughly 4% in dividends of 51 cents. So the total return for the 320 is about 12% return. So when you receive these emails, this is just a reminder of when stocks are either added or closed from the model portfolio, and you can see up there it relates to the changes for the ASX Top 50 model. And you can either execute these orders yourself or obviously have us do it for you. Let's have a quick look at this signal here on Orica. So this was part of the list. So what it's flagged is that we originally had a higher low formation. We've bought into the stock off the back of that, and now the stock's rolled over and made a lower high formation just here, and the algo engine's just flagging that structure. And for us, that's enough to take profit on the stock, as we're better off looking for companies that have a more bullish price structure in place. Let's move on and through the list. REA Group was another one. We've got the algo buy signal here, just flagging the retracement and the higher low formation. This one here is an ETF. You can see here in the code it's .AXW, which means SLF. It's a SPDR S&P 200 listed property fund. So this gives you broad-based exposure to all the REITs on the ASX. So we've had a buy signal here around 1240. So if you didn't want to look at individual REITs that we've looked at, Stockland, GPT, etc., you could just buy this ETF. Again, I think it's getting close to the low here, and watch these momentum indicators to turn positive. Not doing anything there with that particular name, nor here, and back to CIMIC. So that's just reminding you how to toggle through the signals for each day. A couple of stocks that I'll just comment on. Ansell's caught my attention. A number of analysts have upgraded the earnings outlook. This is one that I posted on the blog recently, saying that we thought that Ansell will outperform coming into the earnings result. We own it in client portfolios, and we continue to hold that name. Another one that we'll have a quick look at is InvoCare. This stock here, we've commented on this a number of times on the blog, and its earnings result, I think, comes out towards the end of next week, and I think it might be worth just keeping an eye on that coming into the earnings result. On the short side of the market, a couple of names, just revisiting one that we looked at earlier in the week, which was A2 Milk. We've seen that correct a little. Computershare, a little bit bearish on that at the moment. I think that's got a little bit expensive. But the market's actually responding quite well today, considering the selling in the US. And if we just jump into the US watch list and just have a quick look at what happened overnight. So we arranged, so the United Healthcare and Pfizer were off the back of Amazon, Berkshire, and JP Morgan talking about creating their own employee health fund. McDonald's delivered their earnings results last night, which I thought the growth numbers were good, but they didn't quite meet market expectation. And we're seeing energy names off sort of across the board, with oil being lower. And if we have a look at what held up well last night, so Caterpillar was probably the best performing stock, or it was the best performing stock in the Dow. And we'll just have a quick look at the chart so you can understand what's happening here in the US. So here's a graph of Caterpillar. You can see there the price performance gone parabolic. And where we are at the moment is, I think there's a fair bit of uncertainty in the markets as to whether the steepness of the trend within some of these Dow components can actually maintain. You'd have to say, on probability, a good outcome would be if we just consolidate or move sideways. But that type of price acceleration and expansion is rarely can be built on without some sort of retracement. Thank you for listening in.